Music for Worship here. Welcome back. I'm sorry that I've been doing so... I know it's been so much time since I've posted a video, but I wanted to be able to give you guys a music theory video before my next vocal tutorial, which I want to do a vocal tutorial of something, but I want to be able to teach this special song to you. But for the meantime, this is going to be a music theory video, which basically is a description of the chromatic scale. Now, you're going to be seeing me pop up a lot in this, let me just go into the images. So basically, you're just going to see me popping in a lot with my face. And what I want to be able to do, I have to switch to this. What I want to be able to do is swap between myself and the video and all this good stuff. So let's get to it. So for today's lesson, I'm going to be teaching you about the chromatic scale. I'm going to be doing two videos today. The first video is going to be this video. The next video, what you'll be seeing coming up, hopefully in the next few minutes, if it works out properly, is going to be discussing the relationship intervals between two notes. Now, for that video, I'm going to be using a bit of notes because I have to remember all of the technical terms. But for this video, I don't need to do much other than just teach you the chromatic scale. So before I discuss the chromatic scale, I want to teach you about the music notes. Now, in one of my last music theory videos, I basically made a discussion about what the music notes are in a little sense. But just to let you know what the music notes are, they are, I'm going to be using the key of C to show you the letters. So now we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C again. So as you can see in this video, the key of C, as I'm going to be using my pointer for, the key of C right here is this. Now, the chromatic scale is different because one thing that I will point out to you is that the key of C has notes in between. So there's a note in between this and this, a note in between this and this, and then there's a note between this, and then from this to this. So as you can see, there are notes in between. The notes in between, inclusive of these notes right over here, make out this chromatic scale. Now the chromatic scale are all the notes in between. So let's erase this. And let's show the chromatic scale. And I think my name is actually upside down. So, chromatic scale is as follows. C, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, and C. Now, you're going to be seeing the camera on the other camera, which is right over here. Let me just turn this around so you can actually see the whole thing. So, as you can see on here, you have all of these notes. Now, this C over here is a repeat from this C from the very beginning. So don't focus on the repeated C. These are the 12 notes. Oh, I forgot one. I forgot F sharp. So this, and then goes over here. I cannot believe that I forgot one on video. Oops, but at least it shows you we're all human. The way that God wanted us to be. So as you can see, there are 12 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And that's just the repeat. So as you can see in this video, you're able to see that the chromatic scale are all those notes. Now, one thing that I want to point out to you is that there are also sharps. There are also flats. Because these notes over here are sharps. And sharps are notes that are higher than the natural counterpart. And I'm sorry that you had to hear that. Let me mute this. So as you can see, can you please mute? First world problems. A computer that cannot even mute. So, as you can see, we have all of these notes. All of these notes right over here. Now, we also have flats. And the flats, based off of music theory, and I'm going to use a different color so I could show you the flats. The flats are right down here. We have D flat, we have D flat, E flat, G flat, A flat, and B flat. Let me see, can I get this to work? I haven't used this so much it might probably have dried up. A dry erase marker that has dried up. Very, very smart. So as I said, the flats, which you can see very, very lightly underneath here, are the flats. And the flats are the flat variations to the sharps. So C sharp is the same as D flat. And then we have D sharp is the same as E flat. And so on and so forth. Now you notice that there are two instances, that's why I wrote this C over here. There's two instances in which notes in between don't have flats or sharps. And that is between E and F and B and C. The reason why that there is no flats or sharps in between those notes is because those two notes are what they call half steps. When you notice, and one thing that you'll notice is that there are two terms to determine that talks about the notes after it. Only two notes after is the max. So we notice that there are one note after a specific note. So for C, one note after it is C sharp. But then you have the option to skip one and go to the next one. So we got from C all the way to D. And those two specific notes within the scope of C talks about the half steps and whole steps. Now let me write down what this is. Now I'm going to color code this so you can actually see what I'm talking about. So up here I'm going to put half step. And then with the green, I'm going to put whole step. Now, for all of you guys in England that are looking at this, or any other country in the world that uses the British terminology for notes, the half step that I'm referring to is a semitone. And so the half step that I'm talking about over here is the semitone. And then we got the whole step, which is the tone. So for those of you guys in Britain, and if you're American or any other country that uses the American notes, you've learned the way that people in England do their notes. So congratulations, you know how to speak music for those people in England. But back to the lesson. So I'm gonna draw two arrows. One arrow is gonna be in blue, and the next arrow is gonna be in green. So watch what I'm doing here. Look what I'm doing. Wrong direction. So that, I have this. Now you cannot see that full green effect unless I shrink. As you have two places the C note can go to. You have C following the blue path going into C sharp, or you have C following the green path and going into D. That's what it means to be a half step or a whole step. So basically, a half step is you're going to the next note in the chromatic scale. The whole step is when you're skipping the half step note and going one more note. So you're going from C to D. As you can see, if C follows the green path. So if C follows the green road, C goes to D. But if C follows the yellow, the yellow brick road, no, the blue brick road, then C goes into C sharp. Now there's a reason why I am mentioning this kind of a situation. And that's because E and F are not skipping a middle note to get to the next one. Because if you look at it on a piano, you will see that the E and the F don't have a black note in between. Or in other words, there is no flats or sharps in between E and F. And the same goes for B and C. And I don't know if you get what I was writing in here, but you can actually see how the piano is mapped out if you look at it in this way. There's two sharps in between E and C. That's how it is in a piano. And then there are three in between F and B. And if you look at a keyboard, that's how it looks like. That's how it looks like. And just in case you actually think that I am lying to you, you're going to see a little bit of my piano and my little setup over here. But hey, at least you get to see a little bit of how the piano works. So I see in the bottom. I think you're able to see it. But as you're able to, but it's there. And you see it on my other videos. When you look at my vocal tutorials, you'll be able to see that setup. So, as I was saying, that is that. Now, the same goes for the flats. the same deal. Same deal. So, as you can, let's recap and end it here. So let's recap. The chromatic scale is every note on the piano from C to C. I need to see myself on this. So let's recap. The chromatic scale is from C to C. So it's from here. Okay. From here all the way to here. We've talked about half steps and whole steps, which is right over here. And we've talked about the path that C goes to. Let me just bring this up a little bit more. There you go. We've talked about the half step, whole step thing, where you can see that there's an arrow going into the next note, and then you can skip this following the green brick road and going to D. In the next video, you're going to see that there are more to it than just half steps, whole steps, that there are interval relationships between the notes. So for example, there is an interval relationship between C and D sharp. Also from C to G. And in the next video, I'm going to be discussing that interval relationship. So I hope this helps. I will see you in the next video. God bless you and bye-bye.